Oh boy, man, yesterday we kind of rustled some jimmies with the video that we made talking about Buffalo Sabres forward Jack Quinn. In that video, I wanted to go over Quinn and his development ever since he had gotten drafted and how he had been playing up to that point. Long story short, it's been pretty good. But in that video, I did mention that in comparison to a lot of other 2020 forwards, Quinn, you could say, is playing a lot better than guys who were taken ahead of him. One of the guys who I mentioned by name was first overall pick Alexis Lafreniere, and I did get some people reaching out to me saying, hey, come on, you can't go out there and say that. Quinn, better than Lafreniere? They're in two different situations. Sure, one guy might be producing more than the other, but you can't make conclusions off of that. And as a result, I wanted to go out there and talk about the first overall pick in that year's selection, and just go over where things are right now. Because it's been very apparent over the past few years that Alexis Lafreniere never really became what a lot of people expected him to become right away. Now sure, he's only 21 years old, so there's still a lot of time for Lafreniere to eventually become what people expected him to be, but I think it'd be fair to say that so far, even throughout the first few years of Lafreniere playing in the NHL, he still hasn't directly mirrored the expectations of those who were watching this guy when he was drafted in 2020 and projecting his NHL success then. Lafreniere, as we had noted, is 21 years old, October 11, 2001 the birth date, 6'2", 196 as a left-handed forward, and he is on the last year of his entry-level deal. So far this season, the guy has 12 points in 27 games played. He is on pace for 36 total points, which would be a career high, and he is on pace for a career high in assists as well. When Lafreniere was drafted back in 2020, a lot of people noted his puck skills, his offensive IQ, the way he reads the game, and just the absolute sheer domination that he had on the QMJHL, and said that he probably was the best prospect out of this league since Sidney freaking Crosby. And when it came to the potential, this guy could be a, let's say, 90, 95, 100 point caliber winger who consistently gets upwards of that amount of points, and who was able to combine a complete offensive package with some pretty good physical tools and awareness in the O-zone. Think Jamie Benn, but a little bit better. So not as fast as McDavid, not as powerful of a shot as Ovechkin, but just kind of all around. Jamie Benn is a former Art Ross winner, and he's had a really great start to this season. I think he's at like a point per game or something like that. So Lafreniere being in that sort of territory, I felt was a little bit appropriate to label onto him. But of course, the first few years of Lafreniere and his development in the NHL has not really shown off anything in that respect in the slightest. We had noted how his first overall rookie season was one of the worst amongst all the other first overall picks, spanning back to the early 2000s, late 1990s. Only Jack Hughes was in that similar sort of territory in terms of points, points per game, and points per 60. Every other first overall pick since then was a lot better, and so it was really weird to take a look at where Lafreniere was and how he'd develop over the years. Now, yesterday, we actually had ourselves a really interesting sort of turn of events because we had ourselves the game that the Rangers had against the St. Louis Blues, and even though the Rangers won, they took a 6-4 victory on the night, this wasn't necessarily the best game they could have had. A lot of Rangers fans were complaining about their ability to hold on to leads, their defending, their goaltending, whatever, but I wanted to focus on Lafreniere because in this game, you actually had yourselves a brand new first line take its place onto the ice. Lafreniere alongside of Mika Zibanejad and Kakko. Lafreniere, as a result, goes out there and gets himself a goal and an assist. A 2-point night for the guy, he hasn't had one of those in a while, and it boosted his point total up to the 12 points that it's at right now. It's funny because just the day before the St. Louis Blues game, we had ourselves a post made on the Rangers subreddit. Yes, that's right, I know I'm going on the Reddit again. I always get material for videos on Reddit. Take a look at this post made by Radio Friendly Unichi. What is Lafreniere good at? I mean, skills, not stats. This is a conversation brought up about whether or not Lafreniere actually has tangible tools to succeed at the NHL level, and it asks the question, what exactly are the skills that he has that makes him a good hockey player, quote-unquote? And it's funny because this question is asked the day before he goes out there, gets placed onto the first line, and has a 2-point night. But I also wanted to read some of the comments on this Rangers subreddit post as well. GBs22 says, I'm probably beating a dead horse here, but in my opinion, two things are true about Lafreniere. Firstly, he has been disappointing so far. Secondly, he is not a bust. He's still young, and there is still time. I don't believe he's been ruined by the organization, but I also don't think they're doing him any favors. In one sense, a team like the star-powered Rangers should never have the chance to land the first overall pick. That created a block on the left wing side because you have Kreider and Panarin. I think that Jack Hughes and the New Jersey Devils, he is blossoming into the player he is because he was thrown into the important role. And the Devils stunk last year because of it, but look at them now. On the other hand, the coach Gerard Gallant is focusing on trying to win now and not development, so we're seeing guys like Hunt, VC, and Goodrow in the top 6 instead, stubbornly sticking with his veteran guys instead of giving these kids a long leash and a chance to develop into their potentials. Some would say they'd been given a chance already, but was that long enough? I know Kakko wasn't producing at number 1 right wing, but neither was anyone else. Their expected goals was crazy and bound to come. He's been moved up and down on the right side, and last season he was hitting a stride at the second right wing spot and then taken off mid-point streak for no good reason. If Laffy doesn't want to play right wing, I guess there's not much to do there. But the coach obviously has a clear issue with letting the kids play uninterrupted in bigger roles. It's frustrating hearing him say, we need to change a few things and then do the same things game after game. If it were up to me, Lafreniere and Kakko would be playing top 6 the rest of the season. Left or right wing, sink or swim. The future of the team depends on it. And we've seen this pattern bring itself up in other NHL organizations in the past where the coach is more focused on winning today rather than developing the younger guys. In some cases, it's a problem that you actually see transcend into the AHL. I know the Utica Comets and the Vancouver Canucks kind of had that problem where you had all the veteran guys getting all the points and the big minutes and all the actual prospects were just kind of withering away in the bottom 6. But when it comes to the way the Rangers themselves have been performing and doing their thing, this is a team that was in the 3rd round of the playoffs last year. It's understandable to me to see why Gerard Gallant is going out there and trying to capitalize on winning today. It's just the process in which he's doing that sort of goes out there and contradicts any sort of upwards development for these younger guys in the first place. It's why this game last night against St. Louis was so vindicating for Rangers fans, because hey, Kakko and Lafreniere are on the first line, they're playing with a talented player in Zibanejad, and they finally got points. Sure, Kakko didn't get on the score sheet yesterday, but still, playing on that line, we all kind of know the skill set that Kakko has. As for Lafreniere, playing with some more talented guys is going to help him really hone the offensive side to his game that we always kind of knew was there. It's just so far, I mean, looking at his point log, 30-point seasons, 20-point seasons, he's on pace for 36 points right now in this year's role. Sure, you can do that well enough when you're playing as a grinder on the 3rd line, playing defensively and doing the right reads on the boards. But at the end of the day, this was a first overall caliber guy that had nothing more to prove and learn at the QMJHL level and only really had to go up from here. And so, it's been a while stagnating in this middle 6, bottom 6 defensively responsible type of role that Gerard Gallant has instilled onto Lafreniere. Is it now time to take the next step forward? First line minutes, top 6 minutes, playmaker minutes, playing with actually talented guys that can produce offense and get his name on the score sheet in the assist column? Alexis Lafreniere has not been relied upon to the same magnitude that Jack Hughes was in New Jersey, and that guy's an absolute beast right now. It's why he's making 8x8 and he's looking pretty gosh darn good in the process. But for Laffy Taffy, we'll see where the future holds for this guy, because right now, this game against St. Louis might have been the start of that next chapter. But talk to the comments either way, all your thoughts. I know there's a lot of Rangers fans sort of memeing about the game from yesterday, saying, oh, if Gerard Gallant goes out there and breaks up that line the very next game, then man, I'm going to be done with this team. And I know that some of y'all might be joking when you say that, but at the same time, it's kind of interesting to me, noticing how that is the dynamic, where you have yourselves a line that performs well, you have a player on that line who is young and developing, and he exceeds expectations, and he actually performs well. And the overall sentiment is the cynicism that says, hey, he's probably going to get demoted next game because Gerard Gallant, right? It's kind of funny to me how that is the apparent dynamic amongst Rangers fans. But either way, talk to the comments all your thoughts about Lafreniere, his development so far, how he's been performing as of late, and where do you see him going in the next few months? Does he stay in the top 6? Does he get moved down eventually? Does Gerard Gallant give him a longer leash? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. 99. And bye.